Hey guys, we're going to be reading Chapter 7 of Will Hobbs Go Big or Go Home. Okay guys, let's get into this. Chapter 7, Bring Me Your Sirius. Quinn threw his duffel bag on his bed across the room from mine, then gave a close inspection to the puncture in the ceiling above my bed and the hole through my mattress. His pronouncement was worth waiting for. That's so sick. It's whack. A couple minutes later, we were shooting hoops on the paved apron in the front of my dad's shop, which is what we always did as soon as Quinn came down from Lead. Both of us played on school teams and were more than decent. There wasn't much doubt we'd both be JV starters in 9th grade. We tossed our t-shirts aside and launched into a furious game of one-on-one. Quinn had always had to step on me with his new strength to go along with his speed and quickness. I knew he'd be better than ever. At the first opportunity, he faked me out in typical Quinn fashion, blew right by my feet were buried in concrete. He scored with a reverse left-handed lay-in just to serve notice he had been working on some new moves. He flipped me the ball. Wake up, Brady. Bring your a game. I'm not taking any prisoners. Kids from Lead are competitive to begin with and tough as mining hammers and drills. Then there's Quinn. The only reason I was any good came from playing against him in the summers. 5 minutes in, we were drenched with sweat. The pace was unforgiving, and he had me down 16-12. I was keeping it as close as I could. Half expected. I'd never beaten him, and never really believed I would or I could. How I envied his new muscles in his shoulders and arms, especially even his neck. There was no hope. I was going to turn the tables on him. Quinn scored with a couple of his sudden silky outside jumpers, then blew by me again and took it to the hoop. 28-16. He announced and tossed me the ball. Bring it, Brady. Let's see what you got. I dribbled in place, letting us both grab some of the thin Black Hills air. Our place on Spring Creek is nearly a mile high. I felt a strange electricity again, head to toe, and with it I felt a surge of strength pour through me. I wasn't breathing nearly as hard as I should have been. Are you ready to play some serious basketball? I said with a laugh. Oh, I see. You were only warming up. Bring me your serious. Surprised him. I thought, don't hold anything back. And I didn't. I kept my eyes on my cousins, accelerated on a dime. Fake him left, fake him right, then went up for a jump shot, surprising myself with how high I was going. Higher than I'd ever been. My release was effortless and smooth, and I drained it dead center. Nothing but net. What a sweet, sweet sound. Quinn's eyes were big. Where did that come from? No idea, I replied. I got ready to defend game on him. I told him Quinn was ready to step it up a notch. "Coming through," he announced, which may or may not have been true. He drove for the basket, long hair flying, but I didn't buy his fakes. For whatever reason, I still had that lightning quickness that had enabled me to beat Adela to punch. I picked Quinn clean, then spun and scored with a left-handed reverse of my own. I've always been awkward with my left hand, but it felt totally natural. "Beautiful," Quinn said, more than a little shaken. "You go to basketball camp this summer?" "No, I've just been playing against my dad." Not even very much, I thought, but I wasn't going to say it. Mostly, I'd been hanging out at the town swimming pool. I flipped Quinn the ball. He looked more determined than ever, but I suffocated him with defense when he finally went up for a shot. I didn't allow him an open look, and it clinked off the rim. I soared for the rebound and banked it through while I was hanging in midair. Quinn was looking at me like he wasn't even sure this was me. Before long, we were tied. Soon after that, for the first time in my life, I not only pulled ahead, I pulled him away. With me leading by 14, Quinn called it quits. "Incredible," he said. "What got into you?" "No idea. Feeling my oats, I guess. Guess I was eating out of the same feed bag." Quinn looked kind of stunned. "What just happened?" "Didn't compete." And the same went for me. My cousin didn't stay stunned for very long. Quinn was still Quinn, his mind going as fast as his body. "Remember that time we played egg toss? How about meteorite toss? On the lawn, only fast, more like hot potato. We started at about 10 feet, underhanding the rock to each other from the farther and farther apart. Catching the thing was fairly brutal. Before long, we were 40 feet apart, neither of us having dropped the spud this time. Instead of giving it plenty of loft, Quinn did a full underhanded wind-up and delivered a screaming fastball. Like a dope, I tried to catch it. Game over. The heel of my thumb hurt insanely. Quinn came running. "You should have let it go by." Through I could make the catch. "Let me see." "Look, it's just a scrape." "Yeah, but it's bleeding." "No, hardly. I was pretty good at shaking off pain. The main thing is, I made the catch." I washed the scrape with the garden hose. The bleeding had pretty much quit. We drank from the hose and splashed the meteorite to make it glints. Quinn held it in his palm and said, "Think where it's been." "I know. He's a real space traveler." "He are going to give him a name?" I thought for a second. "How about Fred?" "Fred, why Fred?" "I don't know. I just like it. Maybe the letters stand for something." "How about Far Roaming Earth Diver?" "There you go. Fred is perfect. Welcome to our planet, Fred." Next thing I knew, Quinn was bouncing around tossing Fred between his hands. Off the wall, excited. Just think how valuable Fred might be. I mean, he's from outer space. We have to find out. I've been thinking we should take him to the museum in Hill City. Tomorrow's Monday. They'll be open. Great idea. That meteorite expert guy will probably be there. The one the TV station talked to. All right. Things are moving right along. We made ourselves some nachos in the toaster oven. As we devoured them, I filled Quinn on the medieval